Who will become Chief Minister? That's the big question for Karnataka, and the one everyone is speculating about. Now, the Congress party has asked its national chief, Mallikarjun Kharge, to decide who will be the new Chief Minister of the state. Every MLA met the Congress team of observers and told them their choice by vote before leaving a five-star hotel in Bengaluru, where the Congress held a meeting of all its MLAs. Now, the new Karnataka Chief Minister and Cabinet will take oath on Thursday, what sources have told NDTV. Congress leaders DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah have both made their ambitions absolutely clear. Remember, in interviews to NDTV, both of them had earlier said that they would like the top job should the Congress win the election. Well, the Congress very decisively won the election, but the concerns now is over a standoff if the matter is not resolved. Supporters of both the Congress leaders raised slogans and put up posters backing their choice. But today, Siddaramaiah and DKS will both move to Delhi. Well, let's go across to Pratibha for more. So, Pratibha, now that's the big question, and DKS and Siddaramaiah to come to Delhi. Meanwhile, the Congress in the state have left the decision, final decision now to Mallikarjun Kharge.
That's right. The ball is right now in Mr. Kharge's court, and Mr. Kharge would have to take a call on this based on the written report that would be submitted by the central observers who took individual opinions of all 135 MLAs of the Congress who were present at the CLP meeting yesterday. The CLP meeting, which started off late in the evening yesterday, lasted till around 1:30 a.m. Now, based on the written report, the popular name would actually be discussed by Mr. Kharge with the High Command, and both DK Shivakumar as well as Siddaramaiah would be called to Delhi. If the issue is solved amicably, then yes, the swearing-in ceremony would take place on 18th. Now, the big concern is if there would be a standoff between the two leaders and whether that could create any kind of infighting within the Congress. These are some of the questions that are being raised. But right now, what we hear from both the leaders is that the issue would be resolved amicably. They would try different formulas to see that the standoff wouldn't really balloon into a bigger issue.
Right, so that's the big challenge, to ensure it doesn't become a big crisis for the Congress in the state. Also, it is Mr. DK Shivakumar's birthday today. We saw those visuals yesterday of the cake cutting there, and, you know, a lot of bonhomie feeding each other the cake as well. We're also joined by Sunil Prabhu. So, Sunil, a big challenge for the Congress leadership, the High Command, to ensure, you know, whatever the choice is, that there are no repercussions and no, you know, sort of divisions within the Congress, especially given this resounding victory they've had in the state.
Well, Gandhi, I think firstly some important information which we need to update, which I think hasn't been conveyed to our viewers. One, I spoke to the observers, Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde and the others. They are leaving for Delhi to confer with the Congress leadership. They'll be taking a flight at around 10 o'clock. They have requested both Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. DK Shivakumar to stay in Bangalore and leave later once they get the clearance, which is expected to be later this evening, because as expected, the voting has, really brought out various facets for which the observers will have to discuss, because everybody is claiming in terms of who should become the chief minister. Both Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. DK Shivakumar are top contenders, and it's clearly really a neck-to-neck in terms of the secret ballot which has been opened, but it's been kept secret at present, and that decision will of course be discussed with both the Congress president, Mr. Kharge, along with Rahul Gandhi, and if Sonia Gandhi is back, otherwise there will be a consultation with her in Shimla. The Lingayats also have said that they should be represented. So each caste, the Dalits and others who have voted and given a massive mandate to the Congress, all of them feel that their representation should take place. So it's in this backdrop that there has been these late night developments. As Pratibha was pointing out, it got over at 2 o'clock. As the voting was underway, they continued to show bonhomie by cutting cakes, but there is that simmering tension between the two. And the Congress knows that they have to find a resolution. The date for the swearing-in has been fixed. The big issue, of course, will be on the contours of the cabinet and how they deliver on the promises that they have made and ensure that whoever is appointed as the Chief Minister will be able to help the Congress to retrieve the lost ground in the last Lok Sabha elections and help it to regain a majority of the Lok Sabha seats.
All right. Thanks so much, Sunil, for joining us with that. So both the leaders have been asked to wait till the evening, is what Sunil is telling us, before they go to Delhi and the Congress High Command to take that final decision on who will be the Chief Minister of Karnataka. And this after that resounding victory the Congress had in the state. So the Congress's victory in the polls with 136 seats is being attributed considerably to the prominent role played by Sunil Kanugolu, a 41-year-old low-profile strategist and Congress member who crafted the campaign and did not let the party lose sight of it till the end. Vasudha Venugopal explains how he turned the Congress story in Karnataka.
So be it running an aggressive campaign against the BJP in Karnataka or getting data that would actually tell you what the mood on ground is, the Congress got a lot of things right in the Karnataka elections. The party got a comfortable majority yesterday against the BJP. One of the things that the Congress got right was that it got a political strategist on its side. Sunil Kanugolu is also a Congress member who was working with the Congress party throughout the Karnataka campaign. In fact, he was one of the most prominent faces who led the party's campaign not get digressed with other issues. Sunil has worked with other parties in the past. He's worked with the BJP, DMK and AIDMK, but he joined the Congress last year. So it was just not professional management of the polls by the Congress. Sunil has been working in Karnataka for the last 1 year, and there have been certain focus areas. He also has a strengths. For instance, he believes in building personal equations with the other prominent leaders who were driving the campaign, like Siddaramaiah, Randeep Surjewala and DK Shivakumar. So in a way, the whole poll management of the party, the campaign management was also integrated with the everyday lives of these politicians. The other thing that Sunil focused on was field surveys. So the Congress was aware of what the issues on ground were, so they could alter their campaign very strategically. They came up with guarantees, 5 guarantees that the Congress came up with regarding income support to women and unemployed youth, because it was Sunil's field surveys that showed that price rise and unemployment were both important issues that needed some urgent redressal by the party. Sunil has, like I said, he has worked with parties in the past. He comes from a market research background, and his insistence on having a very aggressive campaign really worked for the Congress. It started with the PCM campaign that he brought out a few months ago. Now, at that time, a lot of detractors pointed out that corruption is not that big an issue in South India, but he was relentless at it, and it sort of created an atmosphere of questioning the BJP and putting the party on the back foot. Later on, the guarantees followed. So in a way, having Sunil Kanugolu on the side of the Congress really helped the party, because this is probably for the first time that the party put across professional poll management. It was data driven, and it relied a lot on professional expertise, but not just people working as outsiders, but people who were integrated with their own leaders.
Now, the other news, the impact of the Karnataka elections and the BJP's crushing defeat, a boost for the Mahavikas Aghadi in Maharashtra, which will take small parties along and put up a united challenge to the ruling party in the 2024 elections. A meeting of the MVA was called by NCP chief Sharad Pawar last night at his residence, with allies Shiv Sena, UBT, NCP and Congress deciding to work out a seat-sharing formula ahead of the Lok Sabha and Maharashtra Assembly elections due in the second half of the year. MVA leaders including Uddhav Thackeray and the State Congress Chief Nana Patole attended the meeting.
कई राज्यों में कोई सिंगल पार्टी जैसे कर्नाटक में कांग्रेस ने किया, इस तरह की एक शक्ति दिखा सकती है बीजेपी के खिलाफ, और कई राज्यों में लाइक माइंडेड पार्टी मिनिमम कॉमन प्रोग्राम पर सामने जाकर लोगों के सामने एक अल्टरनेटिव दे सकते हैं। ये दोनों सेक्शन में हम लोगों का ध्यान होगा, बाकी साथियों से बात करनी होगी। ये प्रोसेस हम शुरू करेंगे, जब तक कोई फाइनल नहीं आता तब तक डिटेल बताना ठीक नहीं।
Well, let's go across to Sohit for more. So, Sohit, the Karnataka results, energizing other opposition parties and Sharad Pawar taking the lead, calling that meeting.
Absolutely, Gandhi. In fact, last week when Sharad Pawar was speaking, he also said that in Maharashtra, we saw that there are three parties, which includes the Shiv Sena UBT that came together, and they are giving a very tough competition to the current BJP government in the state. And if this entire formula is followed across the country, then it might create a huge impact, and it will also be beneficial for the opposition. So that's also one of the reasons why the meeting was called yesterday, where the Karnataka elections were obviously discussed, and also it was planned or jotted down. Strategies were being made on how to take things forward in Maharashtra, where elections are going to happen next year. And if you look at all those bypolls that have happened, wherever MVA has contested together, they have been able to win against the BJP and Shiv Sena. So that's why that was also discussed. Another important thing, Gandhi, is the seat sharing formula. Usually if there are two parties, it's easy to have a seat sharing. But now since there are three, there is a reason, or there is a possibility that there might be several issues between these parties. And that's why Sharad Pawar, in fact, last week only told us that we don't want this entire discussion to happen after elections are declared, and we should sort these things out right now. And that was also something that was discussed. But yes, interesting that they are talking about the Karnataka election, because that would have results have given a big boost to the opposition, and now they are saying what can their strategies be ahead of Lok Sabha and state assembly elections.
All right, Sohit, thanks so much for joining us with that. And stay on for more news from Maharashtra. A delegation from Uddhav Thackeray's faction of the Shiv Sena is likely to meet the Speaker, Rahul Narvekar, today. They will ask him to decide as early as possible on the petition of disqualification of MLAs. Remember, the Supreme Court had held that the Speaker must decide on the disqualification petitions within a reasonable time. And let's go back to Sohit. So, Sohit, this is key. So far, the Speaker had not been in the country since the Supreme Court hearing, but now a delegation to meet with him and push for him to decide on this at the earliest.
That's right. Narvekar is returning back from UK today, and that's the reason the delegation of Shiv Sena UBT leaders will go and meet him. We in fact heard Uddhav Thackeray addressing the press conference on Friday, where he said that the reasonable time should be defined and they can't take it forever. In fact, their demand would be that since everything happened within the assembly and this disqualification plea, we heard what the Supreme Court say, what were their observations, which were very harsh against Eknath Shinde or the governor. So the Speaker should take a decision soon, and that's what the delegation is going to meet him and saying that he should take a decision within 50, because all the records are present within the Maharashtra Assembly, number one. Number two, what they are also saying is if the decision isn't taken soon, they still have the option to go back to the Supreme Court and then ask the Supreme Court to define the time frame within which the Speaker can decide. However, to do that, firstly, they need to give the Speaker some time, and the Speaker might also react that on what is the time frame he is looking after to decide the disqualification of the 16 MLAs, which includes Maharashtra's Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde. So yes, after the Speaker is returning to India today, the delegation of Shiv Sena UBT leaders will meet him and request him to give a result as early as possible.
Right, and Uddhav Thackeray said should there be too much of a delay, he will go back to the Supreme Court in that case. Thanks so much, Sohit, for joining us with those details. News now from Jammu and Kashmir, and the NI is conducting raids at half a dozen locations in South Kashmir. Raids are going on in Shopian and Pulwama districts, and this pertains to criminal conspiracy hashed by terror groups. Let's go across to Neeta now for more on this. And Neeta, give us more details about these raids that are taking place.
Gargi, it's just a week ahead before the G20 working group committee meetings are scheduled to take place in Srinagar and also Gulmarg and in Dachigam. When these raids are taking place in Pulwama and Shopian, we are being told that this again pertains to the functioning of overground workers and terror funding cases. It's an ongoing exercise which the NIA has been conducting for last 1 year or two, in which whenever evidence props up, they conduct fresh raids. The Union Home Minister has been very categorical that you need to break the finance part of the terror, and that's how you need to control it. So NIA is leaving no stone unturned in carrying out that exercise. The G20 meet, Gargi, we should remember that there has been a high alert in both Jammu and also in Kashmir. Terrorists are looking for softer targets. There has been multi-agency center has been giving information regarding some kind of an attack ahead of these meetings. That is why army schools have also been shut, and also a circular has been sent out to Kashmiri Pandits not to venture out of their locations, stay inside. So different measures, precautions are being taken by the Jammu Kashmir administration so that this G20 meet passes on peacefully. Gargi?
All right, Neeta, and do stay on for the next story as well. Manipur Chief Minister and Biren Singh, accompanied by 4 of his cabinet ministers and BJP state president, met Union Home Minister Amit Shah in Delhi. Now, this meeting comes 10 days after the ethnic violence broke out between the Meiteis and the Kuki tribals in the state. BJP Chief JP Nadda also attended the meeting at Mr. Shah's home. Let's go back to Neeta for more on this. Neeta, tell us more about this meeting where the Chief Minister briefed the Home Minister on the situation.
Yes, it comes 10 days after to be exact, after the violence broke out in Manipur, in which more than 60 people were dead. The Chief Minister was here in Delhi along with some of his cabinet minister. NDTV spoke to Sapam Ranjan, who is also a minister and also the spokesperson for the Manipur government, and he confirmed that the meeting indeed took place at about 8 p.m. We were told that here the Home Minister was briefed about the ground situation in Valley, the fresh tensions which are brewing in Valley because some tribal MLAs have demanded a separate administration. So as and when the Valley was limping back to normalcy, this might trigger off fresh violence. So the Chief Minister also briefed the Home Minister about these new developments. We are also learning, Gargi, that the Chief Minister returned back to Imphal last night only, and he would be having a press conference at about 9 a.m. where he would be briefing the press about what decisions have been taken place and how situation has been brought under control. In what we learn from our sources, Gargi, that majority of Meitei population who lives in Kuki dominated areas, they have also not been able to go back because they fear that it may trigger off another set of violence. So the situation is a little volatile there. However, the advisor to the state, he says that area domination exercises have been regularly being carried out. Gargi?
All right, Neeta, thanks so much for joining us with those details. Time for a short break. On the other side, we'll get you all the international stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get you international news. In Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan to appear before the Lahore High Court today in the cases registered against him. Khan returned to his Lahore home on Saturday after having locked himself in the Islamabad High Court premises for hours for fear of rearrest despite being granted bail on Friday. He had been granted bail barring the authorities from arresting him in all cases registered beyond May 9th, and the Supreme Court had asked him to approach the Lahore High Court for further relief on May 15th. But he tweeted this morning, so now the complete London plan is out. Using the pretext of violence while I was inside jail, they have assumed the role of judge, jury and executioner. The plan is now to humiliate me by putting Bushra Begum in jail, that's his wife, and using some sedition law to keep me inside for the next 10 years. In Thailand, opposition parties secured a stunning election win on Sunday after trouncing parties that are allied with the military. But now the big challenge is government formation. Those talks have begun. The leader of Thailand's Progressive Move Forward Party, PITA, celebrated with ecstatic supporters late Sunday as early results from the country's general election showed it running a strong second, closely behind the juggernaut of four Thai parties. And voter support for Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan dipped below the majority required to win the re-election outright, with the ballot count nearly completed on Sunday, making a May 28th runoff presidential election more likely, with almost 91% of ballot boxes counted. Erdogan had 49.9% of the vote, and his main challenger, opposition leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, had 44.4% as the gap between the two shrank. That time for us to slip into a short break. More news updates coming up on the other side. Stay with us.